And I just wonder, like, just like the day-to-day stuff, what happens if you're at home and you want tacos? You know, like, who does that? Because you don't strike me as the kind of guy who's got like a retinue of personal assistants. But you can't exactly walk down the street and just go to the takeout place, right? So do you have, like, how does it work just being Alex Jones when you're not on screen?
I'd say I've got usually a nanny or an assistant until about 5 o'clock, but I mean, I would just go. There's a taco place right by the house, and we get that a lot.
Oh, you do get tacos.
Yeah, and then back during the campaign, like, half the workers were wearing Bernie Sanders shirts. But then I noticed that a lot of them actually liked Trump too. They were just anti-Jeb Bush, anti-Hillary. And so a few of them, you know, would argue with me, but they weren't really mad until Trump won. And then a few of them kind of got in my face when I was getting tacos. And yeah, I mean, for every 100 people that shake my hand, and it's like every third or fourth person will shake my hand, there will be somebody who just goes, F you, Russian spy, or F you, KKK, and you're just like, it's like that person's mentally ill. It's kind of like they're a victim of propaganda. It's kind of like I'm driving up to a red light, and there's a poor schizophrenic person. You know, most of the homeless people have mental problems. I'm sad for them. And they're like talking to the wind. And
they spot you or something.
And then they turn and go, you're my father, I hate you. And it's some drooling 80-year-old guy. You're not mad at him. You feel sorry for him. You lock your doors. You drive on past. But it doesn't, like, morally, the leftists, this happens like maybe every 5 or 6 times I go out to eat now. They'll walk over and go, boo, everyone hates you. F you, Alex. And I'll go, thank you. And they'll go, oh, yeah, knock your drink over.
But everyone doesn't hate you.
Well, no, but exactly. They want to make you think.
Yeah.
It's all with them, because everything with them is peer pressure.
Yeah.
And everything is their little bots and their fake liberalism. Yeah. And so they want to tell you you're not cool, because most of them weren't cool in school. I've learned most modern liberals
being
were
social
nerds.
Justice warriors. It's, you know, well, we all know how what Rush Limbaugh says about why people end up being feminists. It doesn't take a genius to work out why the boys end up being social justice warriors, why a lot of these people end up with the politics they do, and end up behaving as they do. They're empowered by media, by Hollywood, by academia, to be the bullies they never were in school.
Exactly, and that's the thing, though, is that they think I care about fake peer pressure that doesn't exist. They're trying to echo some cyber
version of popularity that doesn't matter to you.
Exactly. Well, they're trying to echo some cyberspace synthetic popularity that they believe they're part of in the third dimension at me, and I know that the last 100 people just shook my hand, literally. It's like 100 to 1 to the one person that screams Russian scum, Russian
So I get the same thing. I get the same thing.
And then I go over to them and I go, come here, come here. And they go, no, F you. F. And they're all, and I'm like, come on over here.
See, you know, it's so weird because I do the same thing. And I'll be like, wait, let's have a conversation. They're like, no. And I said, well.
I'm like, please, on camera, tell me how I'm a Russian spy or how I'm a KKK.
Explain. And I've had people come up to me, and I've been with boyfriends, and you know my taste in men. And I'm like, and they're calling me a white supremacist, and I'm like, oh, I can't even.
Well, that's the new thing where they just scream racist at everybody, and it's just like, and it's like some magic word they're using. And the problem is, though, all of their racist rhetoric is, I grew up, you know, in middle-class neighborhoods, never really heard any racist stuff. It is producing in some white people kind of a classic racism, which isn't good, because it's meant to divide us all like we're in a prison and the government's the warden. And the left is hyping race so bad that if you're not mentally sophisticated, you start getting into it.
I think the whole culture's hyping race. It's not just the government, is it? It's Hollywood too, and so academia. It seems like the whole of establishment culture is dividing people with identity politics. And inevitably, people only know what they learn. They're only brought up how, you know, they behave how they're trained to behave. And if you tell young kids, college students, you know, oh, well, there's a black student union, there's a feminist society on campus, there's this, there's that, and at the same time you tell them, oh, but straight white men are the devil and poison and the oppressors of history, they're going to think, well, first of all, that doesn't jive with my experience, and is that really true about myself, and where's my special group, you know? Whereas I think what I get from you, one of the things that perhaps we have in common, is that you're a classical liberal who believes a lot more in ideas than identity, and you want people to unite around.
Exactly. If somebody's got great food, I don't care if they're gay, straight, black, or white, or Asian, I'm going to eat there. If their music's good, I'm going to go to their concert. Yeah. I'm into individuals and their brains and the great experience of true diversity versus identity politics that creates these reservoirs that they control, that I'm supposed to only paint with these colors. I'm supposed to only see through these maps. Well, that's mental slavery. That's orthodoxy. I don't want to see the world through a priesthood that tells me how to think. I want to interface with the universe myself.
Yeah, like the cultural appropriation thing, where they say, you know, if you can't wear a kimono if you didn't grow up, you know, being in some way that is never quite specified.
Or they say it's insulting to dress up in a Japanese kimono for a party. No, it's fun. And then you eat Japanese food, or you want Mexican food, and it's fun to wear sombreros and drink tequila. You're not stereotyping Mexicans as drunk tequila drinkers. The point is, you want to get drunk on tequila, and then have fun. I mean, you know, it's.
Let me ask you about Trump. Trump is the reality TV president. He has brought entertainment industry dynamics into the Oval Office. Some people love it, some people hate it. I kind of like it. You know, I don't really hear anybody talk about the Kardashians anymore, but I do hear people say, like, what did Stephen Miller say to Jim Acosta at the briefing today? He's kind of turned the White House into an entertainment spectacle in a way that politics wasn't before. Is there a dimension of that in what you do at InfoWars? You know, bringing in the entertainment, because you're obviously on camera persona, very high energy. You have some sort of rhetorical and metaphoric things that you lean on sometimes that we talked about in your show earlier. Some of the language you use is strong, but completely reasonable when taken metaphorically. You know. Is there an element of bringing in that sort of reality, spectacle, entertainment? I suppose what I'm getting at is, how consciously aware are you of the entertainment element of what you do versus here's what you got to hear, America?
I should try to be more entertaining. I get so serious most of the time that
you perceive yourself as being too serious.
Yeah, and then quite frankly, when I am being goofy and stuff, it's because it's gallows humor. I'm naturally that way. I want to do that.
Yeah.
You know, and so if there's anything fake, it's not so much fake. I'm not as serious a person in my daily life in person as I am on air. But this is a serious topic, a whole serious thing. So I tend to get too serious. Whereas you can be serious and joke around. Then with that chemistry, we kind of had fun. It was real.
We kind of amped each other up a little bit.
Exactly.
I think we were enjoying each other's company.
Sure, but I mean, exactly. None of it's fake. It's all a real expression. But yes,
I wasn't suggesting it's fake. I think people wonder sort of how conscious you are of. Let's say, for instance, you know, because you have a big meme ecosystem around you, and you obviously enjoy that. You're aware of it, and you like it, right? The kind of.
Yeah, because I hate taking myself serious.
Right, that's what I think.
It's fun. It's fun to be made fun of.
That's what I think I'm getting at, because people sometimes ask me, you know, is this fake? Is this a put on persona? I'm like, no, I just don't take myself as seriously as you. That's always my answer to that question. It's the same for you.
Exactly. And look, studying history, before politics was entertainment, the local stump where people stood up and spoke, the main gladiatorial event was being politically involved so that you could be freer. Yeah. Then different propagandists came out with programs where they kind of merged politics with Hollywood, Edward Bernays and others, to then basically transfer the entertainment from politics onto sports, onto movies, onto TV, onto radio.
And you get careerist politicians who become boring and too polished.
Exactly. They become boring and polished on purpose to make it an elite sport so that the general public, the unwashed, isn't involved in interfacing, because the elites complained in the 1890s in major news articles, the Americans are the highest literacy level, even though there's some coal miner. They're really into politics. It's a sport here. The elites can't take over because of this American system. We've got to make it boring. Mm-hmm. And so that's basically what they did. And so Trump is making it cool to be grassroots again. He's making it cool to be counterculture. He's making it cool to get back to what Americana was. Trump's very Americana.
And I think there's a reason people like him and you and me, and the three of us are very different. But there's a reason that we're all liked, I think, and it's that we're not perfect. We're kind of scruffy, rough around the edges in some ways, you know?
But real.
Real, yeah. Real. We mean what we say.
People instinctively can look. People know a commercial, even if it's got top actors. They know it's fake. You look at something, you know when it's real. I mean, they know we're real. That's why they constantly say we're not real. That's why MSM keeps saying he's an actor, or you're a fake, or you're a fraud. Well, what does it matter who we really are? What we say is what matters. When Trump breaks the back of political correctness, when Trump defends the borders, when Trump crushes ISIS, when Trump gets $4 trillion in the stock market, like Christ said, judge a tree by its fruits. You believe in Christ or not, don't you judge a tree by its fruits? Like if a tree, you eat something off a tree, it kills you, you don't eat off the tree. If something produces good stuff for everybody, is it good or is it bad? And I think right there is what we're talking about with Trump. And he is the underdog. And they're trying to make him incompetent. They're trying to demonize him. They're trying to destroy him because they are the scum that while we were asleep came in and took over the political process.
The genie that won't go back in the bottle that Trump has unleashed is that preference cascade.
It's just like they have these fake polls where he's 15 points behind on Election Day, but he wins. Yeah. And they've got fake polls now saying he's behind. They're fake. They admit most people even in those polls saying, no, I don't like Trump. It's because they're embarrassed on the telephone. They don't want to say they support him, so that's what you're saying.
Yeah, exactly. But the dam is breaking now. And the dam is breaking because people are realizing that we tell the truth more often than they do.
And like you said during the break, saying we're Nazis doesn't work, saying we're racist. So now John Oliver last week had like a child product that's like private labeled from a Whole Foods company. Now I guess Bezos owns it, he might take it away from me. But we private label, just a 30-year-old product that's got herbs and stuff that calm children down. And he said, oh, you want to knock children out so you can basically, I mean, that's all they've got. But
that's the implication, yeah. So,
but then that's all they've got left.
White supremacists didn't work, so they're going for pedophile, something I know well. Let's talk, you mentioned about sort of judging by the fruit. I mentioned on your show today, the history has this sort of habit. If you wait long enough, Alex Jones seems to get proven right about a remarkable number of things. And the classic clip that they always play, trying to, unsuccessfully I think, paint you as a figure of fun, in the way that they tried to do with Trump, again, failing, is the frogs. And
let's talk about the frogs.
Given that, well, look, let's just
the WB frog is gay.
But look, the WB frog does look gay. But you're in one of your riffs, and it's very. I've watched the clip because I went back and watched it. It's very clear from context that you're in a riff. I just don't want stuff in the water that turns the frog gay. You're talking about chemicals and all the rest of it. Now it makes perfect sense in context. Obviously, it's funny because you have a very animated manner when you wrench it out of context. But what do I read in the Daily Mail this week? Well, it turns out contraceptive pills and cleaning. Have you seen this? Contraceptive pills and cleaning products that are flushed down the toilet are turning 1 in 5 male river fish transgender. You wait long enough, Alex Jones gets proven right again. Now, I'm not saying right about everything, and I don't think you'd be offended by me saying that we disagree on some things, and some things have been have not turned out to be right. But let me ask about that, because I think you and I both have an experience, I think, of tumbling out of internet culture and into the real world, in a way, in the last couple of years.
Exactly, like you're saying things, not knowing you're totally being paid attention to, and the aftermath later,
and not being paid attention to in a particular kind of way. It's like if you're going on a sort of performance riff.
Yeah, the general topic's true, but then there's some satire. You've got to watch out because now the MSM's watching. They're going to present it as if you meant it.
Yeah, exactly. So they pick the most ridiculous bit of the riff, of the bit, that you're doing, and they pull it out and they say, you think that the frogs are turning gay or something, because it sounds as ridiculous as possible.
We will make America great again.